Paperback Rocker, episode 91.
Hey, this is Matt Severson, the Paperback Rocker, and I'm broadcasting from my 6x9-foot cinder block shack in the desert of northern Mexico, southern Texas. Welcome and thanks for checking out my show.
Here he is, fueled by espresso and popsicles, British rock, and Earl Grey, the Paperback Rocker.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your old friend Matt, the Paperback Rocker, and I'm back again with yet another installment of my Blue Whiskey novel series, as read by me. Horrible accents galore, appearing left and right. They sneak up on me before I have any time to prepare. And, I'm just doing my usual thing here in my 6x9-foot cinder block shack, which is living a monastic life dedicated to artistic endeavors, such as recording music, which is what I've been doing. And you may detect a better sound on this podcast because I have a new microphone I'm using for the vocals on my upcoming track, Dead Presidents, which is another of my older songs that was demoed extensively on inferior equipment of the time. And I think this one will have a better sound than my current release, which is called Gun in My Hand. You can find those, or you can find that one, on Spotify, and YouTube has a lyric video, which is cool to watch. And please put my music, Saturn Lander, in your Spotify playlist. Well, popsicle season is winding down. A cool front has just entered the area, brought with it some cool rain. It feels good. But like I said, popsicle season is in the waning moments. And it was an abbreviated season as well, thanks to Hurricane Harvey, which blew through and destroyed my life for 9 days straight. But that's okay. I survived. And I continue to live a gourmet life within these 54 square feet of my cinder block shack, drinking espresso and drinking loose leaf teas, which is what I'm drinking right now. And, of course, eating popsicles, grilling, consuming the finest meats and cheeses, you name it. The Paperback Rocker lives a good life. And part of my life is reading one of my novels to you. Eventually we'll get to another novel. But right now we're in Blue Whiskey. And we are on volume 35, which I'm preparing to start. I want to say hello to my biggest fans, Al and Linda Severson, who are, I'm sure, listening to this together. And if you want me to mention your name on the podcast, feel free to drop me a line at paperbackrocker@live.com. My other family doesn't care about the podcast, so I don't say hi to them. Okay, our hero, Stanton Wheelhouse III, has just performed. It's been a while. Let's see. I think he was performing at the open house event for Reuben's attempt to sell the Thirsty Possum, so they can all be together in New York. And Stanton has been performing on stage and getting a hero's welcome, a celebrity's welcome, really, for the first time. And let's see, he has just played a Bob Dylan song, and that received a great response. So now he is preparing to launch into his latest song called Eternal Flame. Okay, so he is on stage performing at the Thirsty Possum. I segged into Eternal Flame saying, "This is my song," during the opening chords. I kept my eyes open this time, which was rather difficult. I had played the song thousands of times, enough to put on a bit of added performance. I detected a natural need to throw a curveball, so I played the song with direct honesty, seeking out everyone there. Seeking out every person with my eyes, from the front row to the back. I wanted everyone there to think I was performing just for them. By the end of it, the whole place was ready to sign up for active duty. Back then, musicians played short sets. Having drawn out the songs, I had already played almost 30 minutes. I'm taking a break, I said. Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be here all night. The crowd applauded and began murmuring, no doubt discussing my performance up to that point. I saw people making their way toward me. I caught Ruben's eye and made a motion with my hand, indicating I wanted a beer, and then pointed toward the ceiling. I rushed up to his apartment, where I sat on the bed in a daze. A few minutes later, Ruben appeared at the top of the stairs with 4 beers, 2 mug handles in each hand. I could see he'd spilled some on the way. I don't need that many, I said. We're toasting. I forgot how to do Ruben. I gotta say Stan. That'll get me back on. We're toasting. 2 for you and 2 for me. Who's watching the bar? Whoever wants to. Everybody paid their $5. Most of them work in bars and restaurants. They should be able to handle it. What did you think? My God, Stanton, you're so much better. Don't take it wrong. You were always good. I know what you mean, I said. I've worked my ass off. I'm proud of you. Thanks, Rube. That means the world to me. Frantic knocking came from the door at the bottom of the stairs. Ignore it, said Reuben, before taking a huge swig from one of his beers. I had 1 mug in each hand, so I picked the left one and took a big drink from it. I'm coming up, said a determined voice. Reuben, still standing, turned and rushed to the top of the stairs, both mugs still in his hands. You can't come up here, he yelled. I must submit the bid for my client. I'm a realtor. Please hear me out. I'm begging you. Okay, come on up, said Reuben. And that's how we sold the Thirsty Possum for $67,000. I played the rest of the night, but made sure not to blow the roof off like a hurricane, since it might threaten the sale. The day came for us to say goodbye to the Thirsty Possum. Reuben was a bit distraught. I know the first thing they'll do is change the name, he said. They have that right. It's their building. That stinks. $67,000, I said. Let's spend some of it, said Reuben. How? We'll know it when we see it. Let's hit the road. And with that, Reuben and I embarked on the next phase of our lives. Neither of us would return to New Orleans for a long time. We took a different path to New York than either of my 2 other trips. I was really into the idea of seeing the country and observing it like Travels with Charlie. I'm sure I had much more real-world experience than others my age, but I felt uneducated. I hadn't picked up a book other than Travels with Charlie in years, and I wasn't that great a student in the first place. That's where Reuben was going to come in handy. We were passing through Jackson, Mississippi when we stopped for lunch. I saw a little cafe that looked to be frequented by the black population and parked in front. We can't eat here, said Reuben. Sure we can. It's no big deal. I hopped out of Wanderlust, and Rube followed me reluctantly. We had a fine meal, and when the waitress came to clear our plates, I said, That was some wonderful soul food. Give my compliments to the cook. Soul food? What you talking about? That's what this kind of food is called, I said. My buddy Otis over in Stringtown, Alabama told me. Well, it do make sense, she said. Oh, wait, I guess she said that other line. Hold on a second. Okay, yeah, I forgot. Okay, we had a fine meal, and when the waitress came to clear our plates, I said, That was some wonderful soul food. Give my compliments to the cook. Soul food? What you talking about? That's what this kind of food is called, I said. My buddy Otis over in Stringtown, Alabama told me. Well, it do make sense, she said. That's how I helped spread the name of soul food. I'm not taking credit for it, of course. Otis coined the phrase as far as I know. I just helped spread it, like I said. Outside, I said, Rube, are you in a hurry to get to the village? Not at all. Good, let's go for a walk and see what we can see. I'm game. We made it out of that black cafe alive, so I guess you know what you're doing. Call it a soul food joint, I said. You better get hip before we get back to the village. Reuben gave me a withering look, purely in jest. He knew I was yanking his chain. A couple blocks down the road, we came to a library. Let's go in, I said. What's the point, Stanton? We can't check out any books. You said you weren't in a hurry, so come on. I turned and sprinted up the dozen or so steps. The building looked like a residence, but the elevation made it... Hold on a second. I got to turn the YouTube off. Apparently, it came on by itself. That was weird. I don't know how that happened. Haunted, I guess. Halloween's coming up. Strange things, strange goings on in the 6x9 foot cinder block shack out in the desert of northern Mexico, southern Texas. Okay, where were we? You said you weren't in a hurry, so come on. I turned and sprinted up the dozen or so steps. The building looked like a residence, but the elevation made it seem majestic in some way. On the concrete porch in front of the door was a rectangle of mosaic tiles in which the word Carnegie was set. Opening the door caused a tiny bell to jingle, which I thought was strange for a library, until I saw an old lady at her desk jolt awake. Oh my, she said, and tried to compose herself. Hello, ma'am, I said. My name's Stanton. I hope you don't mind me and my friend taking a look around. The bell jingled again as Reuben followed me in. Not at all. Welcome, boys. Do you have any questions? Just one so far, I said. Why does it say Carnegie in front of the door? Aren't we in Jackson? Yes, you're in Jackson. The steel magnate Andrew Carnegie granted the money for this library to be built. This is just one of over 2,500 he funded. She motioned to a portrait on the wall of a white-bearded man seated next to a large globe. That's Mr. Carnegie. I had a sudden vision of my future. If I ever did become wealthy, I vowed to myself at that exact moment that I would carry on the legacy of Andrew Carnegie, or something like that. I think I said some sort of silent prayer asking for help. I walked up to the large painting and gazed upon it with proper reverence. Reuben followed and put his hand on my shoulder. I'm going to do something like him, Reuben, I said. That's a noble goal. I think I should focus on things like that. I don't like wanting to be rich and famous just for the money. I feel like a prostitute in a way. Whatever you say, Stanton. Let's take a look around. Not so fast. Do you understand what I just said, Rube? Maybe you should enlighten me. I'm not an artist like you. His statement was without sarcasm. If I try to do something good for other people instead of just for my personal gain, I think I'm more likely to be successful. Karma, said Reuben. Karma? I'll explain it in the car. The old lady, who must have been 90, heard every word of our strange conversation, and we did look weird compared to the typical residents of Jackson. Still, she said, You two just make yourselves at home and wake me if you have any questions. Reuben and I exchanged a glance. I'm joking, she said. I've had my after-lunch nap. Look around, boys. I'm going outside to smoke. Reuben and I smiled and went exploring. The library might have been a house at one time because it had small rooms the size of bedrooms with shelves on all the walls. Stairs led down to a basement, which was a large open room with some tables in the middle and shelves once again on every possible wall space. The basement was only partially underground, and there were windows that light came through. That's why the main level of the house was set up so high. Okay, I'm going to call it there. By the time I put my intro on and all that, we'll be well over the 15-minute time goal I set for my Blue Whiskey audiobook series episodes. So I want to thank you for being with me, as always. Hope you've enjoyed the sound of this new microphone. I've enjoyed it. I've actually hit the stand a couple times really hard, too, and I didn't hear any noise come through, which was amazing. And Lucy's getting ready to go crazy on the couch and make a whole bunch of noise. So I guess I better say goodbye for now. Until the next time, have a great week. Go check out my old episodes. Buy my books on Amazon. Give them for a Christmas gift. You can contact me at paperbackrocker@live.com, and I'll send gifts that you have paid for wherever you want them to go in the United States. And they'll be signed, and I'll probably put a bunch of free little goodies in there too. So consider that. If you ever want to donate to the podcast and help with the fees associated with it, just go to PayPal and donate to the email address paperbackrocker@live.com. I appreciate it, everyone. Have a great week. I'll see you soon.
The Paperback Rocker has signed off.